So this is a simple line and wash and urban sketching demo. It's a sort of true view on, there's no perspective. It should be nice and easy to digest and pretty ideal for beginners. I've called it a relaxing tutorial because I'm perhaps under the misapprehension that people sit down and do this without feeling stressed or getting anxious. But I mean, I know that the truth is that you start off relaxed and sometimes it can all get a bit tense. You know, I'll tell you what does help, particularly if you live in a busy house where there's lots of distractions. Tell everybody else that you're having an hour off. Literally shut the door, say, bugger off, I don't want any disruptions. Give yourself that time and sort of bathe in it, really. That's the way I like to do it when I can. Saying that, I've got 2 young kids. Fat chance. So this line and wash technique is ideal for urban sketches because you can get down, colour quite quickly and mix colours together and just have a lot of fun with it. So one of the things you might notice about this image is that we're missing the spire off the top. I'd like to try and include that in the picture. I might foreshorten the spire, bring it down a bit from that church. And also this is a bit tight at the bottom. I might give it a little bit more breathing space there. So the first thing I'm going to do is get some pencil. I'm just going to sort of roughly sketch this out. Now, one thing you might hear in the background, actually there's one thing you definitely will hear in the background, is a lot of bangs. Now that is because it is bonfire night. Now, bonfire night in the UK is basically pretty rowdy. You will be able to download this image from my website, and what I'll do is I'll put a description, I'll put a link in the description above. 3 windows there, 2, and that's like a single one, so I'm not going to get too specific about how I, divide these up, but that is a sort of roughly 60-40 split on that one, and then that's just in the thirds. So if I do something like that, and I'll just put the doors in. Okay, so tonight I am sketching with a Lamy Safari pen. I use this quite a lot for urban sketching and sort of line and wash stuff. And this is a bold or a broad nib, a B. What's that old sketch? Anyway, the ink I've got in this is platinum carbon ink. It's one of my favourites. It's black, it's waterproof. I tend to buy it in these 60 centilitre bottles, and it's about £19, and that normally lasts me about 3 or 4 months. I know I get through a lot of ink because I do a lot of ink art. Now I'm going to start down here, and I'm looking at some of the features on these doors. There was a little bit of decoration around the frames. Right, this Lamy Safari is being a little bit tricksy, but we'll see how we get on. Anyway, we seem to have some lines that work there, which is better than before. So, right, so I'm going to I knew this wasn't perhaps the best night for sketching, but I was determined to do something slightly arty. But it turns out I was maybe right. So I'm going back to my Opus 88 fountain pen here. So we're going to have a couple of different, it's obviously a thinner line, but again, does it matter? No. Use what you got. Run what you brung, as they say. So that is one of the problems with fountain pens, is they are finicky, and sometimes what happened then is that's not had any ink in it for ages. So I thought, rather than just use this Opus, I like to use pens that people can buy cheaply, And this is quite an expensive pen, and the Safari is quite a cheap pen. So I thought, well, I'll use that because it's a little bit more like a pen that if somebody was starting sketching, they'd buy. And I never have any problems with my Safaris. And what I normally do is I fill them and I leave them overnight before I use them so that they can get properly wetted. And I didn't do that then. I filled it and expected it to go straight away, and it's clearly doesn't want to be rushed. It's one of the nice things about the sort of urban sketching movement, and I think line and wash work generally is it's a pretty relaxed vibe. It's a pretty chill process. Nobody is, going photorealistic. There we go. So it's a nice, simple little sketch. It's quite effective, that. So what I'm going to do here, let's get these paints on the go. So what I want to do here is I want to think about some base colours. So looking at this brickwork, I think there's a base colour in there that's like I would say it's normally like a yellowy ochre. So I'm going to use a natural sienna instead, because that's what's on my palette. And you see I'm mixing it in here with just some of these other colours. Again, I'm not going for perfect colour matches, and I'm not that bothered about mixing the wrong colour up with the wrong colour in case it goes all muddy. I'm just choosing some colours. So this natural sienna I'm dropping that onto here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to layer that. I don't really want to go over those window frames. That is a particularly muddy colour, but I don't mind that. Oh, the pad I'm using here is actually a pith sketchbook. And they're pretty fun to use. I've done a review actually of loads of sketchbooks, and like a big bulk review of 10 different sketchbooks. So do check that out. I'll try and remember to put a link up there. Is the speed and the looseness. Sort of adds to it in the sense that it's less intimidating for a beginner. I think also as well it means that you're not investing too much time in a piece. So you can have a go and you can make some mistakes. You see there's a bit more colour in the top of those pan tiles. I think I might add a tiny bit of like quinacridone rose, just a tiny bit of red. And I think that might be just a nice, add a little bit more colour variation. Now that red often works quite well. You see what I'm doing is I'm just getting a bit of that quinacridone rose and mixing it in to here. And I think on tiles it can be quite fun. And we've got some chimneys with a little bit of detail on there. And just add a bit in. It's a tiny sort of shadowy area. Now, if you don't like that, if it's too much, what you can do is you can wet your brush, and then when your brush is full of water, you can squeeze it, and you can just lift it out. I think that's probably a bit too strong there. So in the background, we've got what is quite a grey sky. There's not a lot of life to that. But what I might do is add a tiny bit more blue, like a tiny bit of cobalt blue into that. You can see I'm adding that here. And that will give a flat blue colour. And then I'm just going to add in some shapes, leaving the background like that. And then again, I'm using quite a big brush here and I'm just dabbing it on. So we're going to get some interesting shapes. Something like that. And then this undersea green here, I'm just going to spatter a bit of that on. This is like a good shadow colour almost for leaves. And then another fun little trick you can do with, if you get a wet brush, pick up a bit of this quinacridone gold and then you can drop that in and let it just go pew. I don't know if you can see that, but what it does is it creates a few backgrounds and little pops of colour, and that's quite fun. So I've hair dried that off now, and we're pretty much ready to go with another layer of watercolour on top of there. Now, the reason why I want to add a couple of other layers of watercolour is A, to try and show some form, so some shadow, and B is to add some textures. Now, some of these textures are the tiles, bricks such as on the chimney, on the front, and maybe pick out some of these curbstones as well. So really there's an extra sort of 2 layers. Now the shadow detail effectively will go across the top of the textures if you think about it. So the next thing to do is to put some textures on. Now for something like this, you can get a bit carried away with doing lots of fiddly little detail, I think. So I'm not going to go for a too small a brush. I'm going to use something like this, which is the Escoda Versatile brush. I don't know what size this is actually, number 2. There you go. But it's basically, you could use any small brush. So as far as the tiles are concerned, I'm going to mix up a little bit more of this grey here. Bring my palette in, I guess, so you can see what's going on. There you go. So I'm mixing up a little bit of grey. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add in some small details that sort of suggest tiles. As if some are darker than others. But again, I'm not doing a lot, just a couple. And then there's also going to be a little bit of shadow there, but I'm not going to bother with that yet. Also, I'm going to put some here. So again, this is just this very quite pale grey that I've got mixed up here. I'm just going to put the odd little mark on there. Now likewise with the brickwork. Now I could go for something a little bit more brown. Again, I'm using just goo here, if you know what I mean, just palette goo. I don't necessarily need it to be a pure colour or anything. And these bricks are quite small, so we can add on. Again, I'm not that bothered. I'm just trying to show a little bit of texture. It's not very consistent, this brush, actually, mark making wise, but that's probably no bad thing. I just want a hint. I'm really not that bothered about like accurate marks, really, at this point. It's more of a sort of impression of brickwork that I'm after. Right, while I was hairdrying this, I had a thought. We have these lovely bright doors. We've got this red, yellow, blue, black, grey. So I thought, why not add in some pops of colour? I do like a pop of colour. I must admit, I find it quite difficult to resist a pop of colour in my urban sketches. I think it can add a real fun dimension. But also, it will draw your eye in. Which is often one of the things about the picture, particularly a picture like this that's quite flat, is the eye doesn't necessarily know where to look. So I think often a little pop of colour will be a nice little focus for the eye. Now, if you enjoy urban sketching and you enjoy line and wash art, or it's something you really want to get into, then I'd say check out on my Patreon. I've got a series of how to start line and wash, and there's plenty of urban sketching examples in playlists on my YouTube and on my Patreon. If there's something particularly you're struggling with, let me know in the comments, because I'm always looking for ideas for new videos. I do like doing these sort of regular ones where I can just pick up a subject, have a little bit of a sketch and invite you to sort of join me for that. That's a lot of fun. But sometimes it's nice to have a deeper dive into something a little bit more specific. Right, so these gel pens, now this is called a Sakura. I think it's called a jelly roll by Sakura. These are pretty good. I would say that the 0.8 ones, the smaller ones, are probably a better size for this, but they don't flow so well. So I end up using the 10, which is a little bit thicker, but it gives a better coverage. One of the issues you might have with them is getting them going. So I often think it's good to get a little bit of scrap paper and just make sure you're getting a good flow out of them before you start. There we go. So that's kind of it.
I mean, there's not really... I like working that way because when you add in the white, it means you can be, theoretically you can be a bit more uniform, but it doesn't always matter. But it's just a fun way of doing it, which works brilliantly when you've got white window frames, of course. If they're different colours, it's not quite so easy. So we've got those little funny burglar alarm things there. Doesn't matter about that. And the other thing, of course, you can do with the white gel pen is you could go in and actually add in some, white bricks if you wanted. Just to sort of break up those two colours, but I think we've done enough. Add in some dots. There we go. Or some leaves. Right, I'm stopping now because I'm fiddling. There you go. Well, I hope you like that. I mean, it's not necessarily a massively true representation of what's there, but it's my version and I like it a lot. I think for me, my favourite bit is probably just up here on this roof. I think that colour combo of a little bit of the pink in there and the grey is really quite nice. I like some of the mark making down at the bottom here. I think generally it's a fun one. And you can see how some dabs of yellow in there with that green really makes it pop. So there you go. That is a very straight on view. Quick urban sketch, a little bit using it's quite a quick sort of urban sketch, but using line and wash style with sort of 3 or 4 layers, not 2 or 3 layers really. But you could do it in one if you wanted. So I hope you enjoyed that. And I'm sorry about the fireworks. I'm sorry about the children coughing upstairs and me being a bit grumpy with it all. But ho-hum dog's bum. Oh yeah. And I just wanted to remind you that this image is downloadable on my website. If you want to download the reference for this and sketch it yourself and follow along, that would be great. Do like and subscribe. And... So before I go, I just want to thank all my patrons for all your amazing support. Everyone on YouTube here who likes and subscribes, it makes such a huge difference to the channel. It really does. So don't forget to do that. And you can download the reference image for this one, see in the description, and then you can have a go yourself. Don't copy me. Don't copy exactly what I'm doing, because that's not the point of it. You need to develop your own style and you need to be you. But the process is there for you to use as a foundation. I'm doing some weird dancing with my hands. Okay, so yeah, I'll see you next time.